Hi guys, it's Emily from Doe Adair Nursery and welcome back to my studio. I thought it would be fun to do another week in my Reborn studio video since I got such great feedback from you guys on my last one and I really enjoyed putting it together. So as you can see, I've got two new kits on my table. They are both the Tate kit by Andrea Arcello. I have reborn this kit once before and just really love this sculpt. I think it's really beautiful. I love the details. So I have done a little bit of work on them already. I've done a few layers of neutralizing on both kits because the vinyl does come in a very orangey peach shade, and I wanted to bring it down to more of a creamy neutral. So they've both been neutralized. I'm not going to take it too far, just a few layers I think will do. And we're going to get started on some of their undertones and veining. So anyway guys, I'm going to bring you along with me throughout the week, filming little bits and pieces here and there, and I hope you enjoy. Alright, so it's been a few hours. Here is where we're at so far. What I've done on both kits is the neutralizing, like I said before, blue undertones, veining, and 3 layers of mottling. So you can see these 3 colors on the left. This is what I've done so far. I started with a pretty true purple and did a few purple undertones in select areas, and then yellow undertones and yellow mottling, and then this kind of bricky red. It's just the pre-mixed warm blush color by Bountiful Baby. That I did some undertones of that and then mottling. So what I'm going to be doing now are an additional 3 layers on both kits. I'm going to do another shade of purple, although I might make this more of a pinky purple, and then a pinker red and some green, and then depending on how it looks after that, I may do some sheer kind of teal blue. So let's get going. Alright guys, so we've gotten to the part I lovingly refer to as the zombie stage, and that's where all the mottling is done, but nothing else really is. And I used to always kind of freak out at this stage and think, you know, oh, it looks too over mottled, or there's too many cool tones, it looks like a zombie, it looks dead, but I've now realized that this is a good thing. This means that the skin is starting to show some realism in that it appears like it's real skin because of all these mottled tones. But because there's no blushing or anything warming up the complexion and making it look alive, it looks a little scary. But I know from experience now what happens is once I go back through and do a flesh wash and start to do blushing and fine detailing, all this mottling is actually going to look really subtle. And it's very likely I will end up going back and doing a whole other round of mottling. So I think at this stage, I want to say, I think they've had quite a few layers of mottling, perhaps more than I usually do. I think I did 10 different colors because I kind of kept wanting to add different tones. So that's where we're at right now. It's getting pretty late, so I think all I'm going to have the opportunity to do at this point is do a flesh wash, which I have mixed up, my go-to color. I'm going to do that on both kits. Maybe I'll have an opportunity to start the creasing. We will see. Hi guys, so it's Saturday and I am back to painting today. My week has been a little hectic, so this is the first opportunity I've had to get back to them. But I'm so excited to get working on livening up their color a little bit. So where we left off last time, I did manage to get both the flesh wash and the creasing, or the initial creasing, done on both of these sweet babies. So today it's really about blushing, detailing, livening up their color. There's really kind of no rules or particular order at this point. I just sort of start doing what I think looks best. So let's get started. Alright guys, so here's where we're at so far. As you can see, I've taken a little painting break and I've got both kits propped up on some fuzzy blankets just to kind of step away and give myself a bit of perspective. I think it's good to do this at some point in the painting process, just because you can get a little wrapped up, as you paint each and every layer, and it's good to sort of take a moment to look at them in a new way and get an idea of what they still need. So I'm going to go up close them a little bit. As you can see, I felt kind of at liberty to add lots of detail to the head, to both heads really, because both of these babies are going to have hair. One will have painted hair and one will have rooted hair. They've gotten a lot more blushing at this point. I did several layers of blushing all over the kits, started some fine detailing, did some more mottling overall, particularly on the limbs. I felt like the limbs weren't showing the mottling as strong as the heads were. So I'm liking where they're at so far. They definitely need more blushing and more detail, but I think this has just sort of given me a better idea as to what direction to move in, which colors to continue to add, which colors to maybe hold back on a little bit, if that makes sense. But anyway, I'm just going to let them sit here for a couple more minutes and then I'll get back to it. Alright, so what I decided to do was another flesh wash to kind of bring all those secondary mottling layers together a little bit to look a bit more cohesive. And now I've done some more blushing because the flesh wash did tone it down a little bit. And what I'm doing now is, rather than using a mop brush like this and brushing it on and blending it out, I've been taking a small brush like this. It's not really a fine detail brush, it's a bit larger, but I am pouncing on the blushing in little polka dots, not too close together, and then using a more textured sponge versus a flat sponge to kind of blend it out, and it gives it sort of this stippled mottling effect versus a very smooth all over color. So now I'm going to go on to the hands and feet, and you can see I re-enhanced the creasing in the hands. It does look a little bold now though, and I want to do some blushing in appropriate areas to sort of soften the overall look of the hands and feet. guys, so I think this is where we're stopping for today. I just got my studio area mostly cleaned up. I'm feeling pretty positively and feel that most of their skin painting is done, which means when I come back to it, I'll just have a bit more skin painting to do, hair painting on one of these babies, and then it's pretty much time to get them sealed and textured and lashes and glazing and all that fun sort of final stuff. So I'm super excited. Hopefully I'll get another chance to paint not too long from now, so maybe we'll be getting to the finish line sooner than we anticipated. Hello again, guys. So it's now Sunday and I am getting back to both of these babies. I'm really glad that I took a day in between to kind of step away, because now coming back to it I feel like I have a much clearer sense of what they need to be finished up. So even though they both look really similar, obviously because they're the same kit and because I've been painting them simultaneously, I do notice some differences in them, and there are different things I want to enhance in each baby. So I'm going to start, oh, there goes my oven preheating. I'm going to start with this girl on the left. She is the custom who's going to be getting painted hair. And what I'm going to be doing for her is just enhancing her blue-green undertones just a bit. She's really well blushed, which I'm very happy with, but I feel like it's taken away a bit from her blue tones. Sorry, there's some noise in the background. And her veining is really nicely showing. I think it looks really prominent and beautiful. She's got a couple cute little freckles and birthmarks that her mommy requested. So that's what she's going to be getting, along with her eyebrows and painted hair. And then this little girl over here, who is not a custom, she's either a make-to-sell or a personal collection baby, just kind of depending on how I feel at the end of the process. She is getting the opposite. I feel like her blue undertones are showing quite nicely. Her face I'm pretty satisfied with, but I do want to do a bit more blushing on her limbs. I also feel like the mottling on her limbs isn't showing quite as much, so I might do one more round of purple mottling. But as you can see, there's still some paleness to her hands. Not much, but I just want to, you know, redden up those fingertips a bit, the wrists, any pale spots in between. Same on the feet. They definitely have some beautiful blushing. I just want to take it up a notch. I may also enhance her veining just a smidge, because as you can see, it's not quite as prominent as it is on the other kit. And one other little thing I wanted to mention, as with many kits, you always kind of find small little imperfections as you work. Unfortunately, I have noticed this on Andrea Arcello kits in the past. I think it's just the manufacturer of the kits, the vinyl. There are some little imperfections. I'm going to see if it'll show up on camera. There we go. It's mostly just a texture imperfection. See how it looks a tiny bit kind of bubbly or bumpy or scratchy right here? It has that on a few spots, on both kits, not just on one. So what I've done really is I try and kind of take what you're given and work with it and turn it into something positive. So to me, this particular imperfection, texture imperfection, I kind of like. Just in that, you know, these vinyl kits are so smooth and flat, it doesn't really look like skin texture. And this gives it, you know, a bit of a realistic effect, in my opinion. So I kind of painted it to almost look a little bit rash-like, which to me, I think, was a positive approach. So yeah, just a little something I want to mention. You know, when you get imperfections in the kit, do your best to work with them and see if you can spin it into something positive. All right, time to get painting. All right, I've mixed up my hair color. It looks a little gross in the bowl, but there's some of the colors I used to mix it up. And we're going to get started on brows first. studio. I didn't really end up filming very much from the end of the day on Sunday. I did kind of just get wrapped up in what I was doing and get carried away and didn't really film. But it is a good thing because it means I did make a bunch of progress. So what I managed to do on Sunday, as you can see, is I finished the painted hair on this sweet little girl. So the color is, I feel like on camera it looks a bit more strawberry or red toned than it is in person. But what it is more true to life is a combination of a dark blonde and a light brown. And once that was all done, I went back in with another shade of dark brown and just sort of thickened up, as you can see, these little strips where it appears darker and thicker. So she's looking gorgeous. I'm really happy with her. Her head is still a little warm right now. I'm going to give it one more bake, because what I've also managed to do all Sunday evening was get all the parts varnished on both kits. I am trying to be extra patient. I often get everything varnished, bake it 3 times, let it cool, and then go right to assembly. But what I found in the past is giving the varnish a full day to kind of sit and set and maybe kind of come off a little bit allows you to feel the parts that maybe didn't get as thickly varnished as I would like. So what I've done since this morning is I've re-varnished certain parts of the kit. So one I have baking, for example, I felt that there was a patch right around the side of the knee that was a bit smooth. So I re-varnished that whole area. Same with like the heel on another part. So just making sure that these are going to be really well sealed, have a nice texture, not get shiny. So it takes more time, but the patience is worth it. So that's what we're doing right now. We're getting all the parts rebaked and recooled. And then what I've got over here, if I spin you guys around, is my glazing glue rooting needle. I've got some light brown hair pulled just a little bit for lashes, and then I've got a magnet and a honeybug pacifier, which I'm using as my setting pacifier. Here's the magnet I'll be using, just kind of clipped onto here to keep track of it. So hopefully we're going to get everything done today. So let's get going. And here they are, 2 sweet baby girls. So as you can see, the girl on the left, the custom Tate, she's all assembled and dressed. Her painted hair is done, her lashes are done. She's looking gorgeous. And then the other baby I have over here, I've done her lashes and glazing. She's not assembled for a couple reasons. One is because I'm going to be sending this head off to get rooted. And 2 is because even though I do have a body that's the appropriate size, I don't quite like the shape of it. The shoulder width was a little too wide. It was a different body than this little girl on the left over here. So I'm going to reorder a new body for her. And then when her head gets back, she will get to be all assembled as well. But I just think they look so precious. I always love that how two kits that have been painted together can still turn out looking so different. So I'm really happy with them. I hope you guys enjoyed joining me again this week for another week in my studio. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.